Well, good evening, everyone. My name is Tom. Welcome to Ludicrous Feed live on this very balmy and warm Sydney afternoon or evening on the 20th of September 2023. Hope you're all doing well. Thank you so much for joining us live. If you are, make sure you drop a comment in the live chat. If you are watching us on replay, hello as well. Drop a comment. And if you're listening to us on audio podcast, hello as well. Thank you so much for listening in. Right, let's say hello to our regular guests as always. Let's introduce them. We have Riz from Carloop and also Rahul Prasad as well. Hello, gents. How are we both? Let's start with you, Riz. How are you this evening?
Yeah, going well, Tom. So much happening and so much to talk about. I think it's just every couple of days we do this, and there's more and more. So look forward to tonight.
Yeah, absolutely. There's always so much. I love it. And Rahul, how are you this evening from Melbourne? Oh, you're on mute, Rahul.
Yep, sorry, was on mute. Evening, Tom, and evening, Riz, and welcome to the audience. Thank you for joining us on Wednesday night at 8 p.m. A little bit more family friendly. Give us your feedback and let us know what you think of this new time slot. But yeah, we've got a cracking show. Let's get into it, shall we?
Absolutely, yes. Thanks for reminding me, Rahul. Yes, it is a Wednesday night, a bit different, but we are trialing this new time. It gives us a bit more room between Wednesday and Saturday to build up new stories. Yeah, so you'll see this published on social media from now on. I'll just put this up Wednesdays, Saturdays, 8 and 8, easy to remember. And while we're here, I just want to thank our channel sponsors, Wellbox and Carloop. Thank you for making this show possible indeed. So thank you very much. All right, well, let's say hello to some of our regular guests as always. We have Sensei. Sensei's on, thank you. Mark is saying hi all. Incidentally, I don't mind this new date and time, actually. Wouldn't mind if it became the permanent time slot. Okay, thank you for your feedback. Sensei agrees as well. And H2 Rider is saying good evening from the Gold Coast. Lucky you on the Gold Coast. What is it? Beautiful one day, perfect the next in Queensland. Jim's from a wind-blown Tassie. Hello. And Ozscream, one of our members, is evening from Canberra. David's from Adelaide. MG4 delivery next week. Oh, congratulations. You must be super excited. Robin Jules from Bayside in Brizzy. And we've got, good old Kevin from Lakeland, Florida. Nice to see you as well, Kevin. Oh, Brenton's 2 more sleeps until his Model 3. Can't wait. I'd be excited too. I don't know how you can sleep, honestly, in 2 days. Leon, first stream as an MG4 owner. Yeah, well done. Congratulations. We've got Richard says hello. Hal says hello. Kef1 says hello. I think Richard's a big Riz fan. Riz, woohoo. Look at that, Riz.
Oh. Thanks, Richard. You're far too kind.
JD Media says hello all. Sensei Rahul, new Tourak mansion. Lighting and camera and kitchen looks real nice. Looks beautiful. Jerrycan, evening everyone. Hello there. Chris Wood, BYD Megastore looking for who stole one of their shirts. That was on display. No, I didn't steal it. This was kindly given to me by BYD Australia. So thank you. I thought I'd wear it today. I shouldn't always wear the same company, just mix it up a bit. Gaffer says, hi who all. Hello. And H2 Rider. Okay. And yeah, I suppose I should run a poll. Do you want the night live stream to be at 8 p.m. or Thursday? So I might set that up very shortly. People are saying 8 p.m. is good. Richard's watching from Byron Bay. And Brian's got delivery Model Y 25th. Ooh, 5 more days. Awesome. And yeah, Joey has saying got my Model 3 last Saturday. It's amazing. It's in the shop getting work done and I miss it. What a shame. Hopefully it comes back soon, Joey. Gents, as we have said, there's a lot to talk about, isn't there? I don't know. What do you guys want to talk about first? Anything sort of pressing that we should sort of jump on straight away?
Well, there's a bit of an announcement earlier today, or someone tagged us in it. Fisker may be coming into town. We don't know.
Yes. Let's put this on. Yes, it was tagged by good friend Rob from Sydney EV on X. Let's just pop this on real quick. So let's see. We've got, yes, from that other place. I think the other place is Threads. Ask the question to the Fisker founder himself. I think, maybe. Henry Fisker, we go. Any plans for the right-hand drive versions? Any delivering to Australia? Which he replied, yes. So there you go. So that's exciting, isn't it? Is this the Fisker Ocean, isn't it, Riz? I think. Fisker.
Yeah, the Fisker Ocean is their main SUV that's out at the moment. So yeah, right-hand drive, promising. I think they have mentioned that they're heading to the UK, which means they'll be producing right-hand drive cars. So yeah, it's pretty cool. I've heard pretty good reviews about it so far.
Yeah, Australia can't get enough of SUVs, so why not? Let's put another EV SUV in the market. Cool. All right, well, that's good to see. Hopefully, it doesn't take too long to get to Australia. All right, cool. Let's move on. Anything else? Up we go. So Rahul was reminding me of this off air today. Let's see. We've got ChargeFox giving away tickets to the Melbourne EV show that's coming up this weekend. Rahul, what do we know?
Yeah, I think this one's the one that's run by Car Sales or sponsored by Car Sales. Heaps of talks, I believe, and some cars as well. Riz, you're the Melbourne EV expert. Perhaps you might know a little bit more, but looks like ChargeFox will obviously have a stand there or partly sponsoring as well. So 5 tickets to go out there. Unfortunately, I've got 2 young kids with their extracurricular activities. Won't be able to make it on the weekend, but I think it runs Friday to Sunday. So if anyone's interested, I'm sure there'll be a good crowd. And I think this is at the Exhibition Convention Centre, if I'm not mistaken. So if somebody can get along, tag us in your Twitter posts, and yeah, we'd be happy to know what is on at this convention.
I think it's school holidays here in Victoria already, and most parents are booking their tickets to the zoo. Now that's all booked out, but if you want to see some foxes, there will be a couple charged up at the Melbourne Convention and Exhibition Centre this weekend at the EV show. So yeah, 5 tickets to be won there, but yeah, you might get more than you bargained for when you attend the show.
Oh, Riz, he's on fire already. It's only 8:09. So good. Yeah, so if you want tickets, to the Melbourne EV show this weekend, what is it, 22nd to the 24th of September? Yes, so actually reply to that tweet or X from ChargeFox to win. Simply reply with who you would go on an EV road trip with and where. You can always tag the 3 of us if you want to go on a road trip with us. That's fine. There's plenty of room in the car, I'm sure, whichever one you take. But just as a reminder, myself and Riz will be attending the EV show on Friday morning. So I'll be down there. So if you come along on Friday morning, you see me and Riz, come say good day. And happy to chat. EVs, of course. So thank you, ChargeFox, for giving away free tickets to the Melbourne EV show. It's good. All right, so let's move on to this article here. And on the Driven, Australia's biggest banking discount EV loans deal for Tesla customers. What do we know? Let's see, which bank is this? Commonwealth Bank, of course, partnering to bring EVs to the everyday person. Let's see, strong demand for customers. Almost 1 in 6 of our new car loans are now electric. There you go. What's that? 16%, right? Higher than the current uptake of 7% currently, Riz, I think.
Yeah, it's like a lot of the EV loans at the moment, loans in general for cars are pretty high up these days. So that 5.49% seems pretty good. And I guess it does make it easier for people to be able to finance a vehicle if they can't know at least or go through that leasing process. But yeah, no, I think it's a good thing, and we want other banks to jump on this.
Yeah, that's right. 5.49 is pretty good. By the way, this is not financial advice, so do your own research, get some proper advice. But 5.49 seems pretty good, better than my home loan anyway, currently. Probably better than a lot of people's home loans. So yeah, have a look at that if you need some money for an EV, which is good. Okay, so let's have a look at this one. This is Jay Fast, I think one of our viewers actually. So this is a new Shell's largest ever charging station in Shenzhen, which is in southern China. 258 charging terminals. Wowee, that's a lot of chargers. That's Shell as well. So it looks like a petrol station, but no, it's not. It's actually an EV charging station. And Elliot, our good friend Elliot, has been on the show a couple of times. Perhaps another road trip down south might be in order. So hopefully Elliot will go down and check that one out for us. Amazing. Gents, I mean, imagine seeing that on the Hume Highway or the Pacific Motorway up north. Like, how good would that be one day, right?
It's pretty amazing.
Yeah, exactly.
I think somebody mentioned plans for a Australia's largest EV charging hub as well. Might be a good segue to share that with the audience too, Tom and Riz.
Yes, I think we did mention that on Saturday, but I'm happy to put it
On
up again. Let's
Saturday.
have a look. So let's have a look.
It was the Albury one, I believe.
Yes.
And I think Jason from Tech AU covered that one.
Yes, that's right. It was here we go. I'll put it up now. So thank you to Jason from Tech AU for covering the story. So yes, 28 EV charging stations on the Hume motorway or highway in Albury, which is pretty much on the border of New South Wales and Victoria. And there's some preliminary sketches there of what that will look like. I think this is a BP Pulse charger. So that looks pretty amazing. And it's co-located with petrol stations. So ICE drivers can't complain. We've got our own little spot. They've got their spots. So hopefully it will look similar to the Pheasant's Nest Ampol amp charge location, which was pretty cool that Riz and I checked out a couple of weeks ago. Cool. All right. Well, let's catch up with some comments from peeps in the audience. So let's see. We have Rob saying good evening. Hello there, Rob. And Zubanik saying hi from Brisbane. Alan Gibson has an anniversary. 4 years yesterday since I had my Tesla Model 3 Standard Range Plus. Congratulations. Well done. Yeah, Riz doing a stand-up. More jokes, please, Riz. Thank you. Hey, Tom, Riz and Rahul, many thanks for mentioning the New South Wales rebate ending in the new year. Yes, that's correct. It got me off the fence, and I am in the process of organising a novated lease for Model Y. So our New South Wales Treasurer, our New South Wales Treasurer on Tuesday night's budget announced that the EV rebate is ending, unfortunately, in New South Wales as of the 1st of January 2024. I believe, although I'm trying to find an official source, that if you have a deposit currently, they will honour that moving forward until the 1st of Jan. So, including myself, I think, having a Model 3 Highland order, as Riz does. So, yes, looks like we are following Victoria in those footsteps, unfortunately. I guess one thing that will be interesting to see is whether both states, New South Wales and Victoria, and I'm sure Riz can provide this data, whether the sales will go down in the next few months, or even go up, actually, Riz, as people know the rebate is ending in New South Wales.
Well, it's interesting. This week we did a bit of analysis on what's happened to BYD sales as an example. And in Victoria, since the height of June, where they sold 409 vehicles, they've started to come down. So July was around 200 and something. And then I think in August, it was just over 100 vehicles. So it's an interesting time after the rebate sort of ended, that the interest itself is dropping. Maybe that's just the economic conditions, but surely, it doesn't sound like a very pleasing state to be buying EVs in, particularly when our charging infrastructure lacks quite a bit behind New South Wales. So maybe the peeps in New South Wales have seen that, the EV uptake is going to be happening regardless, because they've already put enough things in place from a charging infrastructure and inviting private companies to make investment decisions for chargers in the state. So yeah, it'll be worth tracking.
Yeah, one of the arguments against having the EV rebate I did see in the Treasurer's report was that it does inflate prices. Are we seeing that? Are we seeing increase in EV pricing as a result of subsidies, or is it the other way around?
I think it's the other way around. Like if Tesla drops their prices, everybody sees the drop. So I think
yeah. No, sorry, go ahead. Finish up, Riz, sorry.
No, that's all. I think that we just have to monitor what the manufacturers are doing. And sometimes it goes to show how far away politicians are from reality when it comes to what's really going on. So yeah, sorry, Rahul.
No, I agree. I was just going to say I do agree with Riz on this one. I think it's a backwards sort of move. I don't know any other country in that developed sort of, OECD sort of group of countries that have actually introduced a road user tax or taken the EV rebate before they've actually reached a threshold of, say, 25%, 30%, 40%, even 50%. And I know that Behad Jafari from the EV Council of Australia has written quite a strong worded statement on behalf of the council as well. Basically suggesting that this is a backwards step, and the fact that they're reintroducing stamp duty as well, as opposed to the road user tax, holding it back to, say, 2027, or up until a threshold of, say, 25% of all cars being sold in New South Wales reaching electric car vehicle sales. So yeah, I mean you've got 3 models I think now available at 40k odd. You want to do the most you can to try and bring more cars, more manufacturers, and put the pressure on them. And I think his statement also says that, let me just have a quick read over here. It says, cutting money from EVs to fund handouts for coal, not what New South Wales voted for. So yeah, there you go.
Yeah, that's right, right. Well, there's, in fact, the prices did drop, with these subsidies on board in New South Wales and Victoria. We've got 3 cars under 39,000 $39,000. You've got the BYD Dolphin, you've got the MG4, you've got the GWM Aura, and yeah, started a little mini price war. There's so much interest, right? I did notice too that yes, New South Wales is going to probably introduce the road user charge like Victoria come 2027. I noticed New Zealand is also introducing a road user charge, but their uptake's a lot higher. So I think last time I looked, 16 or 20%, something like that. Yeah. So I was hoping that the uptake was a lot higher before we even considered cutting it in New South Wales, but sadly we are following in Victoria's footsteps. So yeah. So if you're looking for an EV, I think now's a good time before that exemption and the stamp duty rebate is cut, and that's a good $5,500 potentially if you if you got right to the threshold, which is 68,000.
Just a quick one there, Tom and Riz. Is New Zealand introducing the road user tax and then taking the rebate away, or are they keeping the rebate?
New Zealand is about to go through an election, and I think the party that I believe is likely to win, they are planning on removing the rebate. But their rebate system was pretty good. It was like any vehicle under 79,000 New Zealand dollars, they'd be eligible for a 8,000 New Zealand dollar sort of rebate, and they've been doing that for a while now. But after getting rid of this, the preferred party is likely to increase spending on charging infrastructures. That's what they're saying. Now, in all of these announcements, I'm not sure, maybe New South Wales, they have said that they'll reallocate some funds towards increasing charging infrastructure, because here in Victoria, it doesn't really look like anything has changed since the rebate was taken away. So the problem we've got is we've got all states now saying we want 50% of new vehicle sales by 2030 to be purely electric or zero emission vehicles. But all the things that they're doing sort of contradict what their actual goal is. So in other countries, UK, huge rebates and huge sort of incentives are provided for charging infrastructure and to increase the uptake of EVs. So yeah, interesting times ahead.
Yeah, so I am pleased to say New South Wales is investing, I think, to the tune of $200 million more into EV charging infrastructure. So that is already on top of what they're doing with their EV charging plan. So we'll see what happens. They've promised a lot, so hopefully it comes to fruition soon. Here's a question from our audience. Let's see, where was it? It was about superchargers in the Sydney CBD. Let's see if I can find it. Yeah, I don't know. You can find a list of upcoming supercharger sites on the Tesla website, so that's a good one to check out. Anybody know?
I'm not actually logged into the stream yet, but in the private chat, I have highlighted that. I think that's from Tyrone Sables, and he's asking if there's any. Sure, if you guys have addressed this, are there any plans for more Tesla superchargers for Sydney CBD and eastern suburbs?
Yep, thank you.
That's it.
Yep. So there's currently only one in Sydney CBD, which is, well, supercharger wise anyway, which is Broadway. I think there's about 8 chargers there. Otherwise, one further south in Kirrawee and one further north in Macquarie Park. So there are your options right there. Let's see, what else have we got? Yeah, Gaffer's saying, I think some recent news on the renewables front is the massive peaks being hit by the NEM over the last few days. Over 70% renewables for the grid and lowest ever coal demand on record. That's good. Good to see we're progressing forward. Sanjeev is asking me a difficult question. Which is better car between MG4 and Aura Cat? Well, I mean, we've taken the MG4 for a longer drive, and that was quite comfy for Riz and myself. The Aura is good too. It's got a few issues, I think. Nothing that can't be fixed terribly. I personally, as a car enthusiast, I prefer rear-wheel drive for the MG4, but It's not to say the Eurocat's not a nice looking car as well. It's got a nice interior, so it depends what you want really. Let's keep going. So I suggest manufacturers do not inflate their prices as incentives are state-based and vary. The prices are national with shipping variations. Yep. Anyone know how the High Court is going? Yeah, I think Chris might have updated on X. I think that's still pending. Jeremy's got his jokes. Here we go. Knock, knock. Who's there? Tesla? Tesla who? No, Tesla why? Oh, very good. Very good. Okay, we've got Enzo saying, boys, I picked up my Model Y today. Oh, congratulations. I'm in the EV club now. Oh, round of applause right there. Well done. Brenton saying, I'm getting my Model 3 via novated lease. Excellent. There's no way that I'd be able to afford it otherwise, so I'm thankful for the fringe benefit tax delete for leases. Yes, have a look at that if you are an employee, definitely. Okay, here we go. Peter Cook has a comment. Ultimately, EVs make sense regardless of incentives. I got none of mine. Yeah, I didn't either. First time around. The annoying, or second time around too. The annoying thing in EV is that, the annoying thing in New South Wales is that the charging promises were re-announcements of existing plans, some dollar amounts. I see. Okay, I thought they were new, so I apologize. Oh, Peter's saying there are some serious plans for Tesla Superchargers at Bondi Junction. They fell apart because of electricity supplies. That would have been good. That's sort of in the heart of the eastern suburbs, so it's a shame. Okay. Right, excellent. So thanks for your comments, everyone. Keep them coming. I will share this X for now. This is Synergy saying Jurien Bay has joined the WA EV network with a new EV fast charger now operating. For more details, visit that website. And that it looks like a Kempower charger. Just looking at the way that curls there, like a what do you call those, like sync, like taps. That's the only way I can describe it. Pretty cool though. What's that, sorry?
Butterfly wings.
Butterfly wings. Yeah, it looks like that too. Yeah. No, it's good to see the EV network, the WA EV network progressing there. Fantastic. I have to do a drive up from Perth and North one day. With a reliable network like that taking shape. That's good. Let's share this now. So this is some Tesla news from PepsiCo. Tesla Semi covers 1,600 miles under 48 hours in California. Amazing. Drove at highway speeds for roughly 90% of that distance. Probably fully loaded too, right? Amazing stuff. Let's have a look at petrol prices currently. Yes, won't be going to the beach this summer. Petrol prices that's huge, 295 cents per litre for E91. Jeez, boys, I'm glad I'm not filling up anymore, I gotta say.
Well, I was hoping that they'd hire the same person that did the ads for Coles. Down, prices are down. Well, clearly not. I think they're going the other way around. And I hope that this encourages some people to start to consider, other options like electric vehicles that are on the market. And I think it does nothing more than just, creates curiosity. And when someone else says how expensive fuel is and an EV driver says it's not so much, it encourages people to start doing their research and hopefully make the switch.
Absolutely, yes. So I shouldn't make fun of the light that some people do need to buy petrol. EVs are relatively expensive for some people, so it's a shame it is going up. But I think it's worth doing the sums if it is worth switching over to EV for sure.
Yeah. And I think just even factually speaking, now my maths is not very good. Was never good at maths when I did my schooling, but somebody did mention in this thread or in this X post that if you had an ICE car, where I think this guy was showing that he had a 600 kilometer range, and he's like, hey, this car can take me so far. And you do the math with those prices, if you're going to fill up a full tank, how much it's going to cost you as opposed to driving an EV and charging at, I don't know, 45 cents, 50 cents, 60, 65 cents a kilowatt. You do the math. Yeah, sure, you take a couple more stops and it takes you maybe 30 minutes, maybe an hour longer, but the amount of money you're going to save long term, and forget even the maintenance or the service aspect of these cars, of the ICE vehicles, you're going to come out on top within 3-5 years and break even. Feel for people who are going to have to pay these prices coming over summer and the holidays as well. So if you can, please get that EV rebate still available up until 1st of January in New South Wales at least.
Yep, correct. And this is actually New Zealand, by the way, just a slight correction there. So minus about what 10-15%. Still, I mean, I'm seeing 220, 230 in Sydney, like downtown Sydney. So not much better here in Australia for sure. And yes, prices do spike at school holidays in New South Wales. We're heading to school holidays now, so it will definitely go up as people drive a bit more. Yeah, Gaffer makes a point. Prices are going up in supercharging as well. I think it's now 70 cents per kilowatt hour. It is dynamic. It does go up and down, probably going up for school holidays as well. I have done the sums between charging DC and petrol. Is not that much of a saving if you've got a fuel efficient ICE car like a hybrid, for example. But the savings are clearly made at home, day-to-day charging. So that's where you make up that saving. Jez, hello, Jez. Welcome. Feeling discombobulated? It's Wednesday. Sure is. Sorry, I'm late. What did you miss? You missed heaps, Jez. Come on. Heaps. No, just kidding. You can always follow up on replay.
Well, you don't have to. Tom revealed his new garage, Jez, and it even had a plaque with the photo of you on there, and
life size. That's right. Yeah, for anyone else who's missed the start, yes, we are starting on Wednesdays. A bit of a trial, but probably moving forward as well. Always available on replay, of course, as well. All right, let's move on to the next story. And Sawyer once again says that Volvo said today that it will end production of any remaining diesel models by early 2024 as it heads towards becoming an all-electric car maker. Now, we know Volvo is jumping ahead in Australia. It's actually going to be all electric by 2025, I think, and that's actually earlier than what it is overseas, so that's good to see. By 25, we'll have 4 pure electric powertrain brands in Australia: Tesla, BYD, Polestar, and now Volvo. But it's good to see Volvo now cutting diesel models by early next year. It's great. Sticking on that Volvo kind of platform, I did attend the Polestar 3 launch today, which was a lot of fun. So thank you to Polestar Australia for inviting me and including me as part of quote-unquote media. I felt very privileged. But it was good to see, actually. I've been really genuinely looking forward to seeing the Polestar 3. It is an expensive vehicle, no doubt. But it's actually probably a nice replacement or an alternative to the, I guess now, Tesla Model X, which is now no longer available in Australia. So let's have a look. I'll just play my video just a bit for you guys to see. Obviously, check this out for yourselves. But there it is there. Yeah, so we had the chief designer as well. That there he is in the driver's seat telling us about the vehicle, explaining all that stuff about aerodynamics. It's actually got a front wing, believe it or not. He's just tapping it now. Unfortunately, it's still fairly energy hungry. 111 kilowatt hour battery pack, gents. 580 kilometers WLTP. So not super good. So Polestar obviously is fighting that design / engineering balance at the moment. But look, it is a lovely car. This is the performance version, so it's beautiful on the inside. So yeah, check out that video of mine. It's a nice little walk around. I certainly enjoyed it. So thank you, Polestar. All right, let's move on to the next one, gents. Is there anything else that's outstanding that we need to chat about?
A follow-up on the BYD Seal, Tom. You had a chance to look at it last Thursday. What did you sort of think? I know we touched on it on the Saturday stream for those that join us on Thursday or now Wednesday. What are your sort of thoughts on the car, seeing it in person? How does it differ from the images and the videos on the interwebs?
Yeah, good question, Riz. In fact, I'll try and pop it up now. I've got that to chat about in the background. So, yeah. So again, thank you to BYD for the invite. This was kind of like a media VIP event. Lots of beautiful people as always. BYD throw the best parties. Sorry, MG, you guys throw good parties too. But yeah, look, the Seal I was very impressed with. It's a nice alternative again to the Model 3. It's probably got a lot more detail, whereas Model 3 and Tesla in general are more minimalistic. I didn't like the fact that the charge port was on the right, because it's going to struggle with the Tesla Supercharger getting the cable around there. But otherwise, look, it's a good vehicle. Obviously, Riz, the key point is the price, isn't it? Where will they launch this vehicle at? Are we talking 55 for the base variant? It's got to be under Model 3, surely.
Oh, it's got to be if they're looking at it from a sort of long-term sales point of view. But aside from that, it's going to be difficult to see what what the top spec variants are like, but surely they've got to be under what the Model 3 performance is today. Although BYD have suggested so far that this is not a Model 3 competitor, it's more of a premium vehicle. Now, premium means different things to different people. But I think, yeah, it has to be priced right, unless they want to keep it like a Halo car, which, you can keep it priced sort of high, and some people buy it, but most people won't. So yeah, that will be the key in the coming months.
Yeah, so it's got a piano black finish as well. Richard, thank you for reminding me. So that's always a concern. It does scratch quite easily. Um, yeah, this is the performance variant too that I'm walking around, and I suspect, and I've chatted to a few people that night too. I think they'll probably launch the performance version first. It should hopefully come under Model 3 performance, and then they'll probably release the base variant. That's not confirmed. I'm just speculating for now. But look, it's got a beautiful trim on the inside, all the mod cons that you'd expect, and pretty good value for that. Hopefully at the good price range as well. So, yeah, I guess we shall see. And we've got Graham, who I think is a BYD owner. He's saying that BYD has notified of a new over-the-air update due tomorrow. So have a look at that, everyone who owns a BYD. Email arrived an hour or so ago. Cool. Thanks for that, Graham. Appreciate that. Yeah, Sanvi saying as impressive as the Seal is, I bet they bring it out at 70 to 80,000. If they do, it's death to the Seal. Well, it's not death, but I think it's going to be very hard to sell at that price for a base variant. Maybe the long range version. I don't know. It is the all important question, I think, to the Seal success.
Yeah, I think. I mean, my gut instinct thinks that the performance variant will come under 70K. It has to be if it wants to compete with the Tesla Model 3. And I think BYD know their markets well. They've just recently hit 500,000 vehicle sales globally. So, there's definitely a market there for the BYD and for the Seal in Australia as well. Like Riz said, luxury means different things to different people. There's definitely a market in that range. You'd be looking at that Seal as a car for themselves rather than a Tesla. Not everyone's a fan of the Tesla Model 3 or the Model Y or of the Polestars. So they might want to go for the BYD. Good to see the choice in that segment increasing in Australia as well. So yeah, great work BYD, hitting 500,000 cars globally.
Yeah, good job. What is the Seal cost in China? Or you guys can look it up for me and put it up on the chat. Let me know in yuan or RMB. Osgrim is saying, I think the Halo car in Australia should probably be the electric ute. Yeah, I mean, that would be awesome, right? We discussed on Saturday, I think, what is it? LDV have got the concept ute. But at the moment, they've only got one. There's only one electric ute at the moment. I think it was a converted Ford Lightning, noticed on social media last week.
Yeah, there is that LDV ET60, but did some numbers, and I think they've sold around 60 of them so far. But at $92,000 a pop, that's roughly three times the price of an ICE equivalent of the same ute. And the ICE equivalent is a 4x4, not a 4x2.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's going to be interesting. Anyone that brings a ute for, around $80,000 to $90,000 should have a better chance than what the LDV's had so far.
Yep. Correct me if I'm wrong. I think the Seal is quite expensive in New Zealand, possibly more than Model 3. I could be wrong.
Oh, I can't remember if they've announced the prices there yet, but yeah.
Okay. I'll keep an eye out for that one. Yeah, Sanvi's saying they keep saying it's not a competitor to the Model 3. I think that is showing their hand price-wise, but if you do a direct euro price conversion, €45 for base. Okay, 45,000 euros. So that's like 70,000 Aussie, isn't it? Yep. Cool. All right, let's move on to this story now. So this is just a bit of light relief. Currently, a new Lexus brand boss plans big EV overhaul, benchmarking Tesla. I know it's not Toyota, but close enough. Chance, what do we think? Another bold claim from Lexus Toyota?
I think Lexus is, if Toyota is to tread this EV transition carefully, then Lexus would be a brand to trial this with. Because you'd think, like the news coming out of Europe, particularly with BMW, Mercedes, and Audi, is that their customers want to go electric. They're happy to pay more. They're happy to even buy converted ICE cars into electric variants, like the BMW iX1, iX3, and others. They want to go electric today. It's more comfortable. It's just a better drive. So surprising that Lexus has held off, although they have launched their RZ recently, I think in June, July. But yeah, Lexus has a better chance of at least delivering what their customers expect. And then hopefully that technology will eventually trickle down into Toyota if by that stage Toyota hasn't copped a beating in China where everybody wants electric cars.
Yep, absolutely. Good summary. Yeah, we shall see. Yes, Brenton, good question. Is there any new information on the new all EV Insure that I talked about a couple of weeks ago? So they're still in production, well, still in development, Brenton. So I'll certainly keep you guys informed. Let's take a little break, and I just want to once again acknowledge our sponsors for tonight, Warbox and Carloop, who are making this show possible. Those who just joined us, we are doing a trial Wednesday night, 8 p.m. and Saturday morning, 8 a.m. Easy to remember, 8 and 8, Wednesday, Saturday. So we shall see. Might be a better balance. Let us know in the comments what you think. Okay, let's quickly whip through some quick stories now. Let's have a look at this one. So this is breaking in Thailand. Model 3 is not available to order anymore unless from inventory. It looks like Highland is coming sooner than expected for the Thais. Okay. And Elon Musk is saying a Tesla has a usable reserve of 5 to 15 miles range even after the battery reads empty. This will not hurt the pack. There you go.
Yep, I do know that it does have that reserve of about 10 to 15 Ks at least, because I did that earlier in the year when we drove from Victoria to Merimbula and landed about 10 kilometers short. But the car kept on running at 0% for about another 10 Ks. So definitely has some in reserve there.
Nice. Now, Scotty's doing a nice segue for us here. Is Carloop the insurer? No, Carloop is not the insurer, but it does belong to our good friend Riz. Riz, what is Carloop? What are you doing?
Oh, just working on fun things around EVs. Thanks for bringing this up, Tom. We've sort of been working out where some of the black spots are, or how far can you actually travel. Around our major cities, there seem to be quite a few chargers to get us around, but then there's a whole lot of the country that is still fairly clear, which means you can't really travel very far if you go along there. Hopefully some of our future charging sites will improve that. But at this stage, what we're sort of seeing is, there's a whole lot of improvement that's needed, particularly by some of the states with larger areas, South Australia, WA, but obviously a lot more if we're trying to head towards Cape York and further up north as well. So I think all governments and sort of private charging infrastructure providers should be paying attention to this sort of stuff, because if they want people to use their networks, the one that have the most is going to be is going to want to help a lot of the EV drivers, not only the ones that like us that have EVs today, but those that are moving, sort of thinking about one, and make it easier for them to travel around the country. So we've just been playing around with some data around charging infrastructure, but also hoping to map that with EV uptake in the coming months as well, to give our political leaders that keep cutting our rebates something to have a think about.
That's right. I love this heat map, Riz. So I've, as you know, well, you guys don't know, but Riz and I have been chatting a lot behind the scenes about his developments and what he's doing with Carloop, and I'll tell you what, it's super exciting. So over in the coming weeks and months, we will touch on what he's doing. It'll blow your mind what he's doing behind the scenes, and he can drill down to postcode, even to what chargers are available in your local area. So we might touch on a couple of postcodes in the coming months too. So watch this space.
And for anyone that's interesting, follow us on X. We'll be posting more and more of these insights on there, and would love your suggestions on what you'd like to see as well.
Absolutely. Give Riz suggestions. That's what we're about, keeping EV community happy and progressing the EV uptake in Australia. Cool. Thanks, Riz. Yeah, we'll chat more about that later. Let's move on. So Tesla North America, all Hertz rentals in the US now allow full Tesla app access. Hey, that's great. This means you can use keyless lock, unlock via phone key, remotely precondition the cabin, track charge status, and more. I just wonder whether they're using the Tesla app, or is it just the API that they've incorporated with their own in-house app? That I'm not sure.
Yeah, whatever it is, it won't hurt the EV renters experience.
Mm. I have used Omigo, which is a kind of a Strata in-house kind of EV rental service, and they use the Tesla API in their app, and it worked seamlessly. It was great without having to sign into another Tesla app. So maybe Hertz is doing the same thing, and maybe Six will copy too in Australia, because that was certainly having the app is just like half the experience. It's so good. It completes that Tesla experience. It's good. Okay, let's have a look at this one. Sawyer again says all new Tesla Model X estimated delivery dates in the US have changed to November, December. This comes 1 week after they changed to October, November, and demand after the price cuts appears to be strong. Well, you'd expect that, right? Price cuts, demand goes up. That's the aim. So that's good. What's this one? So 85% of electric car drivers would never go back to petrol or diesel. Yep, I agree with that. It's a survey of almost 4,000 EV drivers shines light on why so many people will stay switched. Good to see.
I think this was in the UK. And I know they fully charged. UK also just recently had an event in London, I think, where, I think Bobby Lou just got up and said, hey, hands up, who would switch to an ICE car, or would go back to an ICE car, and nobody said they would ever go back to an ICE car. I mean, literally zero people. Nobody stood up.
Funny that. It's a bit of a captive audience, I guess. But yeah, you're right. I mean, I'm sure we took a straw poll here. Most people wouldn't go back to an ICE if they had an EV. So I think that's pretty reflective. Good to see that published, though. It's excellent. The electric cars are now already cheaper to run than petrol. We've kind of discussed that already, and will become less expensive to buy than fossil fuel equivalents within 3 years. New research says. Hey, that's good. Excellent. And more Tesla news. Sawyer, this is how long it took Tesla to hit each cumulative car production milestone. 1 million in 12 years, 2 million in 15 months, 3 million 10 months, 4 million 7 months, 5 million 6.5 months. So a bit of exponential growth there, which is good. Reflective of EVs in general, I think, uptake. And Eva Fox on X. Tesla installs its 10th V4 Supercharger site, the new charging site again in Europe, in Vilaseca in Spain, becoming the first of its kind in the country. Tesla is accelerating the rollout of new charging stations, stimulating the adoption of EVs. Cool. I'd love to see this in Australia. We talk a lot about tap and go rather than using an app, so it's got to come. Plus, now that we're opening up this to non-Tesla EVs, the V4 charger has a longer cable too, so it'll be very helpful. Now, interestingly, today at the Polestar media event, someone raised the question about why is the charge port here? Gents, I mean, should we agree on a standardized charging port? We don't in petrol vehicles. Should we do one in EV?
Yeah, I wonder what the design constraints are for some of these manufacturers, right? Like, sometimes you think that surely it's not that hard. So high-end Ioniq, the original Ioniq, I believe it was on the left-hand side of the vehicle like Teslas are. So when we saw a photo of one charging at a Box Hill Supercharger a couple of weeks ago, it was like, hey, it fits in. And then this week, I've been driving the Mercedes EQE, and it's on the other side. And there is no way I tested at a Tesla Supercharger once again in Box Hill, and you block 2 stalls easily. And it's a wider car, so it barely squeezes through the 2 stalls. So yeah, lucky it has 12 stalls at that site, but it's very hard, especially when they're placed in the other direction, on the right hand side as such. or some at the front right. So there's ideal locations, it's left, I guess, for Teslas, but maybe at other charging sites with longer cables like the V4 Superchargers that will have that ability to charge most vehicles.
Yeah, that's right. I mean, yeah, I don't know. I don't know the answer to that. I think the answer is probably just a longer cable so that we can accommodate all different types, right?
Yeah, I think that standardization would have to come from Riz, you're the expert, from FCAI perhaps, or from a governing body, which would then sort of say, hey, every manufacturer who manufactures or brings their cars into Australia or into Asia Pacific would need to have their charge ports located on a certain side of the car. Would that be correct?
It's I guess, yeah, it's a bit of a tough one because I think charge port location itself is driven by manufacturer's choice of where, I guess, where they want to place the inverters, and I guess somewhat it's to do with the charging infrastructure itself. Tesla obviously has a very unique way of doing it, and I thought about this when I was plugging the Mercedes in. If it was a longer cable, then would those cables be heavier for many more people? And what we don't want from a Tesla supercharger point of view is to have heavier cables and for them to sort of become like some of the other chargers, like the Tritium PKM units or some of the Kempower units that are extremely hard to maneuver those cables into the charge port. So it's a trade-off. So it'd be interesting to see what some of the newer models where the charge ports are placed, but I hope that there's some level of standardization, at least at a manufacturer level. So Hyundai and Kia keep it consistent, BMWs keep it consistent, but yeah, time will tell.
Yeah, I like this comment here. We'll probably just end up with more drive-through charging. Honestly, I think that's the way to go. So it doesn't matter where your charge port is or charging port is. Like in a petrol vehicle, you just drive whichever way you need the cable to be. So yeah, obviously early in the adoption, we've got to use space we already have. But now that we're starting to build EV ground up charging locations, then we can sort of rethink the design for charging stations. So thanks everyone, good discussion. We'll keep this going later on. So I saw a comment earlier. Where is it? Okay, so we should touch on this. Well, Tom, why did Tesla USA get rid of the Model Y single motor? I don't think this was actually available in the US, the single motor version, as far as I understand.
No, I think this last week they got rid of the all-wheel drive, which I think has the 4680 battery cells in it from Texas. Could be because they're ramping up the Cybertruck production. I believe they have some sort of 4680 cells, and I think one of the managers at Tesla on an investor called it the Cyber Cell. So I don't know, could be diverting production towards that as they're gearing up for the delivery event. But they weren't selling the rear-wheel drive single motor ones in the US.
And now looks like it's the all-wheel drive has disappeared as well from the online configurator. So yeah, don't know. Who knows? We'll find out in the coming weeks, I guess. Graham says he saw a BYD E6. I think that's the van, isn't it? Or the people mover. Charging in Shepparton, Victoria last weekend. Not many of those in Australia anymore. That's true. Peter Cook doesn't care if it's front, right, rear, left. Either is good. Yeah. Again, let's go back to this comment here. Drive-through would help, I think. Duke Boy is saying they should be mandating contactless payment at all DC fast charge. I agree. I think it should be tap and go. They've got enough data, right, Riz? You're the data man. They can move on now.
They've got to do the right thing. I think the fact that NRMA now is going to have this new app or part of the NRMA app, another app for people to download and the rest of it. But we don't need apps. We need the easy way to pay for the charge and plug it in, it charges, and we can go and keep on our road trips rather than stuffing around downloading multiple apps and then, transactions, handshake issues, all the rest of it. Speaking of handshake issues, very quickly, there are reports coming out that a lot of the BYD Atto 3 owners are unable to charge at a V3 supercharger at the moment. And I know, Tom, you've previously done a test at a V2 supercharger earlier in the year, and that seemed to work. But I think there's issues to be aware of. But I believe BYD are working on a fix.
Good. Also, it's a BYD issue, not a Tesla issue.
I don't think it is a Tesla issue because every other vehicle seems to work and the car seems to accept it. And some of the research that I've done this week, even beyond Ireland, I think had an issue with the Atto 3 that he was testing in Norway, where it would charge at the V2 charges but not at the V3 charges. It could be a Tesla issue, but I've reached out to both Tesla and BYD, and BYD have responded by saying, we're now aware of the issue. We're doing some engineering testing this week by taking some of the cars out to V3 superchargers, and we'll aim to investigate it and let everyone know what the fix could be. Because particularly in some parts of Victoria, there is no other chargers around. So Colac Way, some of the regional parts where there's superchargers there, and BYD owners, when they're traveling, they want to charge, they can pull up. But unfortunately, even those locations with those V3 superchargers that are now open to non-Teslas, it doesn't communicate. So just be aware, guys, if you're driving around in a BYD Atto 3, to top up, preferably at a V2 supercharger or a non-Tesla charger, just to be on the safe side when you're traveling.
Yep, good. Thanks for that community announcement. Yes, very good point there. Thanks, Riz. Let's take some more comments. Yeah, it's a messy affair. Fuel pumps are not standardized. Yes. Overhead charging cables like the self-car wash places with a swivel on the roof. Yeah, maybe. Why not drive the car into the station knowing which way, side, front? Well, the problem is some of the V2 chargers, the wheel stop is still there, so it's hard. It's kind of a potluck at the moment. Peter Cook, Riz and I have touched on this before. Tritium PK350 charger cables are too heavy for the disabled and elderly. Should be illegal. Yeah, it is difficult to pull over. I'll scream a good point. Car companies couldn't standardize the indicator switch over the last 100 years, right? So, good point. Okay, Jez. Oh, I've got Jez's blessing. Wednesdays are great. 2 days in, 2 days left. Plus, we get Tom and Riz every third day. Yep, Riz. Yes, he found your Carloop on X, not on Threads. Ooh, the other place.
What are Threads? I don't even know what they are.
Pull those threads. Nick says even Costco petrol pump has tap to pay. Yeah, make apps available for loyalty. But yeah, actually, that's a good point. If you want to use the app, then at least there's some incentive to do so, right? To get your data. Yep. I agree, Ray. It's just for data collection. That's true. All right, let's whip through some of these stories before we wrap up tonight. Real quick. Brenton's, can I get a personal wake-up call on Saturday, please? Yeah, just post your mobile number on the chat there, Brenton. We can all wake you up on Saturday.
Actually, the YouTube channel has a little bell icon, the notify. So Brenton, please click on that. And guess what? You'll be watching Saturday 8 a.m. with a nice cup of coffee. Riz and Tom bringing the EV news to you.
That's it. Thanks, Rahul. All right, let's whip through some stories real quick. So, spied in Canberra. This is camouflage BYD Seal U after engineering tests. I think this is a plug-in hybrid, if I'm not wrong. Similar size SUV to the Tesla Model Y. Thank you for viewer Non for sending that through. Peter Grubber on X. Guess what came today? It looks like a Roadster, Tesla Roadster.
I think these are the Roadsters that they found in China, didn't they? In a shipping container. I think there's probably about 3 of them.
Yep. Of course, based on the Lotus Elise back in the day. We have a community service announcement. 12th of November, EV Open Day in Thurul, which is near Wollongong down the south coast there. So go check that out if you're in the area. 10 a.m. to 1 p.m. Sunday, 12th of November. Put that in your diaries. As touched on earlier today, 500,000 and counting, the 500,000th BYD Yuan officially rolled off the production line. The Yuan is the, I guess, equivalent to our Atto 3, testament to our unwanting dedication to a greener earth. So congratulations, BYD. I guess there was a reason why I wore my BYD shirt today to celebrate that. So well done, gang. Awesome. And we should probably touch on this a little bit. I kind of missed this week. This is Ford. Was there some kind of labor industrial action in the US, gents?
Yeah, it looks like a lot of the automobile workers are sort of going on strike. closing certain automotive plants down. 4 years, Tesla's been frowned upon for not having a unionized workforce, but I think it's difficult to see where Tesla is continuing to ramp up production while a lot of the manufacturers are seeing a downturn, and obviously staff are going on strike because the union wants more pay, and obviously that will impact productivity as well. So large organizations, Ford, GM, and Stellantis, that runs Jeep and other brands, they are impacted heavily by the strike.
Mhm. Yep. I assume it's about pay rise. That's what most strikes are. Better working conditions, all those kind of things, which are important, of course. So we'll keep an eye on that one. Thank you, Ray. Enjoyed my BYD event video. Thank you. And yes, the pressure is on now, Brenton. You know what to do. And thank you, Gaffer. Yes, please hit that like button to help spread this stream. For those who watched Saturday, yes, I think you switched to Wednesday to keep the NBN Gremlin guessing or the Phantom buyer. And by the way, I should announce that my Black Model 3 is under contract, or deposit has been paid. So hopefully pretty much sold by the end of this week. So, yep. Okay, so Oscreamer about the strike. They're only closing the ICE factories for the moment. And Sanvi, again, yes, it's the Melbourne EV show this weekend. Are you guys expecting announcements? Yeah, I'm expecting to see cars. Hopefully some OEMs will turn up, specifically the Kona. Oh, yeah, I'd love to see that. Anything we should keep an eye on? Yeah,
I think it's
no.
there. They've
Cool.
said that the Kona Electric and the Ioniq 5N Performance Edition should be there. But then
Yes.
again, we were promised many things that fully charged as well. I'm yet to see a combi.
That's right. Oh, yeah, the Ioniq 5N. I'm excited about that, actually. Oh, man, I'd love to do a hot lap in that. It's so good. Okay, and what other new models of BYD coming to Australia? Well, hopefully the what's the little one called? The Seagull. That'd be cool.
Seagull?
Yeah.
The Seal U,
Seal U,
that
yep.
you touched on.
Yep. So, yep, let's find out, hey, in the next few weeks to months. Just quickly, I should thank the I'll thank T-Brit for sharing this with me. No, someone else posted this. Yes, okay, so this is the same picture I think that I posted earlier. So EV chargers coming to Australian Parliament House, 58 charging points. Don't know whether they're actually chargers or just charging points for future. I don't know, but this looks very much like the visitors' car park, unless they all look the same. But that's good that it's hopefully open to public too. So if you're next in Canberra, go take a look for us, take a photo. And the Peugeot E2008 has touched down in Australia from 59,990 plus on roads. Very similarly priced to the Cupra Born Volvo EX30. So kind of that premium. Is it a hot hatch, Riz? Maybe.
I think it's sort of like a small SUV, but it is very small. So yeah, we'll find out. I drove the Peugeot e-Partner, the van, and I was very impressed at what it offered. So yeah, this could be quite a fun car when it comes out.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to it. Yes, and Duke Boy, wonder if we'll see the Model 3 Highland at the Melbourne EV show. Riz, did you have your runners on this week? Did you see it?
Look, I haven't seen it yet, but you never know. Maybe Tesla's planning on. I mean, it'd be a golden opportunity if they could get a car down quick enough, because we've seen the right-hand drive one in Japan. So, what better way than a consumer EV show that hasn't really happened in Australia yet to have a vehicle there? But it's sort of a 50-50 at the moment, from what I can tell. But Tom and I will be there, and we'll find out.
Yeah, no, Riz is the man to find out. Yeah, he's camped outside, I think Mulgrave, right? Delivery center there. So if it's going to be there, Riz will know about it.
That's where I live.
Yes, we'll let you know. Yeah, Nick has a question for you, Rahul. Rahul, is not having home charging much different to owning an ICE vehicle? Great question.
Great question. I'm trying to think. Yeah, look, very, very much different. I think once we decided to go electric, which was back in 2019 with the Tesla Model 3, we just never looked back. The fact that we didn't have car parking space, off-street parking, or a a space to put in a charging cable that we could then run to the car. It didn't deter us from getting the electric car as well. And yeah, 4 years on, onto the Model Y now. Yeah, it makes it easy that I live in inner Melbourne, so there are plenty of charging points between shopping centres, between public charging spots from the local council, and then a couple of EV and ChargeFox chargers as well at about the 50 kilowatt, 7 kilowatt sort of mark as well, some of them being free as well. And now we've recently just got the Abbotsford Tesla Superchargers there as well. So yeah, spoiled for choice, no issue there. That I can charge. So yeah, just haven't thought about an ICE vehicle. And I think that tweet that I sent you, or that X post that I sent you, Tom, about the pricing of the petrol prices, it just caught me by surprise because I was driving past, stopped at the lights, turned around and looked at it, and I was just like, whoa, is this what petrol prices are nowadays? I think I haven't looked at it in about 2 years. So there you go.
Yeah, that's right. I look at it anyway, just to have a little giggle to myself. But again, I'm not making fun of people who need the petrol, but I'm glad I'm not having to fill up. So yeah, no, Raul makes a good point. If you live in the inner city, it's great. A lot of chargers around. So yeah, I guess just look at your situation. If you have a charger nearby, then yeah, see whether it works for you having an EV if you don't have off-street parking. All right, gents. Well, that might be it for tonight. I might just finish up on this real quick. This is the LDV e-Deliver 7 van. Is confirmed for Australia. Expect the high ace rivaling EV to touch down Q1 next year. So look out for that. I am a van fan. Almost as I'm a Riz fan, but I'm a Riz fan as well. But I am a van fan for sure. I'm a Rahul fan too. So yeah. Bring on the EV vans, I say.
Yeah.
E-vans. All right, gents. Let's just finish up with some comments from the audience. We've got Ben saying, FYI, 9 p.m. too late for me, Tom. Prefer 8 p.m. Good. Okay. Thank you for the feedback. And Ray said he's just reviewed the Abbotsford charger. Thank you, Ray. Excellent. I think we saw some pictures online too this week. Peter says, workmate of mine just bought a Model Y long range without home charging. He's renting between homes, growing family. He charges at one city hill twice a week while at work. Beautiful synergy. It's more than enough. Excellent. Good endorsement there. And Gaffer saying, my preference is to charge AC slow over DC. Yes, true. It is better for the battery. Yep. H2 Rider saying, having 2 EVs, never going back to ICE. Good. Excellent. Oh, Ludicrous. Hey, I like that name. Good show, boys. Have a nice night. Excellent. Yeah, Bulldogs, have an awesome night. Thank you. All right. Thanks, everyone. And Sanvi is saying, great show. First time. Oh, good. Welcome. Thanks for helpful, entertaining. See you guys on Saturday. Excellent. All right. Thank you, everyone, for joining us live. If you watched us on replay, thank you as well. Make sure you leave a comment, and thank you for listening to us on audio podcast. I just want to say thank you once again to our sponsors tonight, Wallbox and Carloop. Don't forget 8 and 8 Saturdays and Wednesdays from now on to simplify things. And as always, I just want to thank our regulars, Riz and Rahul. Thank you, gentlemen, so much as always. Riz, thank you so much.
Good to be on. Everyone's had quite a bit to talk about, and there's much more. So we'll find out what happens, but we'll join you on Saturday morning. I think I'll take my shift off the EV show and let everyone know what we see on Friday. So if you're there, come and say hi.
Yep. Actually, I just remembered Saturday I will be out of town, so it may not be Saturday, but we will be there on Friday, Riz and I. So if you're in Melbourne, come and say hello. Maybe we'll do a stream. We'll see. We'll see how it goes on Friday instead. Thank you, Rahul, as always. Thanks for joining us.
Good work, gents. Yeah, thank you very much, Riz. Thank you very much, Tom. Yeah, we're very privileged that Riz and I can join you, Tom. Obviously, you do a lot of work. I think you've done the Polestar review this week. I think last week you did the BYD Seal, coming to the Melbourne EV show. So yeah, and putting on the live streams twice a week as well, in amongst doing stuff with your family during school holidays, and then also a day-to-day job as well. So much appreciated for all the work you do for the Australian EV community.
You're more than welcome, Rahul. And yeah, it's no problem. I do it because I love it. And yeah, that's why you got to love what you do, right? But as we discussed earlier, there's so much to talk about each week. I can't not do this stream because it just covers. We try and cover as much as we can because it's interesting and important. Gents, have a good night, and thanks everyone. We shall see you. Yeah, I'll see you when we see you. Otherwise, we'll see you in Melbourne. Have a good night, everyone. Take care. Bye now.